No fake out today. Today is the end. Today we're facing Rayquaza. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team. I did look over at the layout to actually remember the title there because I always mess it up. I just always mess it up. And today we're actually going to go to the very summit of this tower, and holy crap, Flygon, you have a lot of HP. Which, oh yeah, Barry has his moves still linked. That's right. So we're going to, I don't know what that's potentially dangerous. What the final floor is of this mini dungeon. I think it's like 5 floors. But 5 fairly difficult floors. And I'm not going to, like, assume that I'm right here, so I'm just going to link up my my moves right the first turn of fighting Rayquaza. Am I going to get as lucky with the stairs this episode as I was last episode? I want to say probably not, but knowing my luck, there's a real good chance that the answer is actually yes. Because I've been very lucky in this Let's Play. I went through the entirety of the Magma Cavern without running into a single monster house. Did it in one go. Last episode, this very dungeon, ran into the stairs over and over again. But as you can see, the grid-like structure of this dungeon, the floors, is actually fairly annoying and difficult to deal with. So it's going to take a little bit longer. Also, I'm going to use Barry to deal all my damage, because Barry just... he's got all his moves linked, and I've got 2 link boxes anyway. I've got plenty of max Alexes, so I might as well take just advantage of the fact that his moves are still linked, and he has a shit ton of PP on all of them. Definitely that's going to run out before too long though, because let's actually check. I still have 9 moves left, and that is 9 of every single move he has. That is how good linking moves is, and that's how good his moves are. But as you can see, I'm having a little bit less luck with no. Okay, I'm probably gonna die here. I am fairly certain that I will, because unless this Shadow Ball can take out the Aerodactyl. Or am I getting supremely lucky here? No, I'm not. Okay, so the thing is what I'm about to do considered cheating? Maybe it is. But the way I see it, I have a choice. The choice is being upfront with you guys, or not telling you guys and still doing the exact same thing. As you can see, there's a huge amount of items missing at this point. And actually, I don't think... Okay, so I'm going to do it this way. Looking at my items, I still have plenty of items that I can actually use. So I'm going to try it one more time. But I do have a save state. And usually you would be able to do the same thing which I'm about to explain to you with normal saves. So I don't think it's like a advantage from having an emulator or anything. And wow, I'm getting lucky. I'm going to use that save state if I need to do this dungeon with items, because I'm not going to do this and then face Rayquaza as well without any sort of items. That's just suicide. That's just going to take me like 2 hours. And, well, I do lose the experience I'm getting here if I do that. So, I really don't think it is cheating. I think it's just re-rolling the RNG of floor generation and hostile Pokemon generation. Do I want to do that? I would very much prefer to keep the levels I'm getting right now, to be honest. So I really do hope that we'll just get to the end of the dungeon in this attempt, and that will be enough to... Holy crap! Okay, so that's potentially bad. Because these Flygon have like 150 to 200 HP. I mean, Barry can take care of some enemies, but Barry is taking care of 2 enemies in a time I'm taking care of 1. So that goes to show he has like 4 moves every time he attacks though. So that's maybe not that fair. Just goes to show you, did I not hit my second? You know what, Barry? You can take this. You can take this. As long as you don't get supersonics again, which would be fairly annoying. You can take this. Yeah. Supersonic is the only thing I'm okay. I keep forgetting. Every time I run into a scary Pokemon, I keep forgetting that Barry can just demolish them. So, I don't know if it's actually 5 floors. If it is, we're doing so ridiculously well. I do feel like it might be slightly more than 5 floors. That being said though, it seems like this floor is not a grid structure anymore. Okay, so we might die again here. Also, if Barry hits us with his string of moves, we are also dead, so it can backfire when he's confused. It does so much damage. Also, I want to talk to you guys about something that, oh my god. Oranberry. That happened to me today because I have been trying to sell a couple of things because they were just laying around here, not doing a lot, like a motherboard, a CPU cooler, my old PlayStation 4 because I now have a PlayStation 4 Pro. So yeah, now I'm just going to try to walk away and let Barry take care of business since he's not confused anymore. And I saw my motherboard and my CPU cooler without any issues. People just wanted to buy them, a little bit lower than my asking price, but... So, here we are, back again. A little bit lower than my asking price, but that's okay, right? I mean, that's just how bargaining works. And this is a very lucky spawn as well. I mean, we are getting lucky, don't get me wrong, we're getting lucky. We could be getting more lucky, but we're getting lucky. And that's alright. And the PlayStation 4 I'm selling doesn't have online functionality because I bought it used when I got it. That's what buying something means, getting it. And the previous owner probably did some like online cheating, hacking stuff, and the physical hardware is blocked from the PSN network, meaning that it just can't go online whatsoever. At least not on PlayStation services. I think on something like Netflix or YouTube, you probably would still be able to use it on that PlayStation, but anything like game related, you just can't go online, meaning that you can't get software updates. You can't game online, that's the main thing. Which wasn't an issue for me initially, because I just wanted to play Kingdom Hearts on it and Crash Bandicoot. But when Spyro the Dragon was, the Reignited Trilogy was released, I wanted to play it, but the disc only has the first game, and you needed to download the second and third game from the PSN store. It didn't like require any additional payment, it's just, it's a large game, and it just didn't fit on the disc, or the PlayStation disc reader can't handle the discs that large, or something like that. I don't know exactly how it works. But it's a large game, and it's a gorgeous and a great game. But that gave me a little bit of an issue, because, okay, so that's how self-destruct works. It just doesn't kill, it just does damage. So that's why I got a PlayStation 4 Pro, and I figured, well, Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be released soon anyway, when I got it at the time. And I want to play that in 60 frames anyway, because it runs at 60 frames, I think. Well, I'm pretty sure it runs at 60 frames now, but at the time, I wasn't sure. So, let's just buy a Pro and try to sell my initial old PlayStation 4. And that didn't go well at the time, and right now I frankly could do with some little bit more money, so I'm trying to resell it again. And I have it listed for €50, which, that's a bargain. Even for something that is pretty much bricked from going online. If you don't want to play online games, €50 for a PlayStation 4 is a freaking bargain. So I got a message today from a potential buyer that said, I'll buy it for €30. I'm like, 30 is a little bit on the low side, especially since 50 is already a bargain. And I know how bargaining works. I listed it for 50, so I'm not going to sell it for 50. That's just not how these kind of things work. Let me eat an orange berry real quick. Berry can probably deal. So he said 30, I said 40. I'm like, he said 30 because he expects me to go for 40. That, again, it's just how bargaining works. And he said, fuck. Probably should have given an Oranberry to Barry, shouldn't I? And he started like asking me questions. I'm like, dude, this doesn't matter. Like, why are you selling it? I'm like, I got a Pro recently and I'm trying to sell this. And some legitimate questions like, can you watch YouTube on it? And I said, I'm not 100% sure, but it's blocked from PlayStation Network. So I imagine you can, in fact, watch YouTube on it as long as the app is on it, which I think is on it by default. So some legitimate questions and some questions which I'm like, why are you asking me these questions that are not relevant to like our transaction whatsoever? But it could just be like human interests and trying to appeal to somebody's humanity to get a better bargain. Maybe it's literally just socializing with somebody who's trying to sell you something. I don't know. I don't try to socialize with people trying to sell me stuff, is the thing. When I'm trying to buy something from somebody, it's a purely business-like transaction. And I don't need like grocery store workers to strike up a conversation with me. As a matter of fact, I would very much prefer if they didn't. Because I'm just here to frickin' buy my food. I don't need to talk to you. Everything I need to hear out of your mouth. And I know this sounds like very like dickish, but if you work at a grocery store and your boss tells you to do this, obviously do it. What your boss tells you, you should just listen to it, as long as it's legal. Because that's just company policy. But from a consumer perspective, from my perspective, I come into this store to buy, let's say, a bunch of bananas, right? Because I like bananas. And I go to like the registry and I put my bananas on like the little conveyor belt, and all I want to hear out of the person's mouth is hello or like good morning, good afternoon, just something to be polite. Then I want to hear how much I'm going to have to pay for it. Like, it's a bunch of bananas. That'll be €1.50. I don't know how much a bunch of bananas is because I never buy fruit. Then I want to have you ask all the things your boss tells you to ask, like for promotional purposes and all that kind of stuff. Then I want to say, I'll pay with my card. And the only other thing I want to hear out of your mouth is, would you like the receipt with that? Anything other than that, I'm not interested in. I don't know you. I don't want to know you. I've just come here to give this company my money in exchange for food. The same thing applies to pretty much every business. That being said, as a business owner myself, it's a little bit different because I don't really work with consumers. I work like from company to company. I do also strike up conversation with my clients when I'm out and about, like with my clients. When I'm like on location somewhere filming something for a client, I will just do the small talk thing. But I do think there's a difference between serving a consumer or serving for a client. I think there is a difference there. And maybe that the only difference there is the difference between I do one thing and not the other. So maybe if you're working in like a service industry where you work with consumers, you're like, no, shut up, what you're saying doesn't make any sense. In which case, please, I would very much like to hear from you because frankly, again, if I'm in any kind of store, I don't want to strike up a conversation with anybody. I just want to, if I have a question, I want you to answer the question. And other than that, I just want you to like do the transaction with me. And then I'll just leave. There's one exception to this. There's one exception to this which I initiate myself at times. And that is when something like unexpected or awkward happens, I will strike up a bit of a conversation just to let the person behind the cash register know it's all right. Don't worry. I'm not going to be an asshole about this because everything I'm saying right now, it's not how I act. If people strike up a conversation with me, I'm not like, I don't want to talk to you. Shut up. I'll have the conversation, even though I don't want to have it, because I'm polite. I'm not an asshole. I like these like linear floors. Give me more of those, please. Also, when there's like the other day, when I sold the motherboard, I went to the store and let's give an. I mean, I guess I have plenty of Alexas to do what needs to be done there, but I would very much like you to use the Max Alexa. I went to the post. We don't really have post offices anymore. I don't know how this is like worldwide, but over here we don't really have post offices anymore. Usually most of the posting is done in like a separate aisle within a store, which just takes packages and I'm just gonna eat an Oreo berry. And then does the like, well, the post office thing without being a post office, pretty much. And usually that'll be done by just one of the store employees, which also has to work a cash register. So there was a line there, and there were like a couple of people, and some of them, frankly, that might have influenced my decision saying this. Some of them were fairly old. And when I say fairly old, I mean like they were pretty freaking ancient. So I'm going to give an Oreo berry to Barry just because, yes, please use it. And I could see the person that was helping me or was going to help me being a little bit panicked. Like, I can't be in two places at once. And I said, okay, it's all right. There's nobody behind me. It's all right. Go help those people first. I've got all the time in the world. Meanwhile, I was thinking, because if you don't, those people might actually die before you get to them because they're old. That's a little bit mean, but that's just the way I like my jokes and my humor. It's dark. So, and she went to help them and then came back to take my package, and that was all. And that really, you see, I can be polite and like friendly to people. And even when I'm annoyed with people, I don't show it unless I like people I actually know. Then I'll say, okay, now you just need to shut your fucking mouth for a second. Those kind of things I do say to people I know when I know it's appropriate. But man, do I think that kind of thing about strangers all the freaking time. And I will be rude to strangers occasionally. But the thing is, when they're striking up a conversation because they're working at a grocery store, they're doing it to be polite. They're doing it from a place of well intent. And I think if somebody does something from a place of well intent and you're rude to them, you can go eat a dick. Because those people, they're just working there. They're usually just like teenagers or like people who don't have another job. They're just working there. They just try to make the best out of from the day and need to eat one of them huge apples. And they're just trying to be friendly. They're just trying to make your shopping experience facade might be very good, actually. How much PP does it have? It's got 12. It's going to be better than Toxic, I think. Because Toxic, I think it would be a more useful move, but against Groudon it didn't really do much. So even though I'm annoyed with those people, I can understand it comes from a good place, from within the heart, and that's all right. I don't act rude towards them. Also, how long is the summit? Is it 10 floors? I feel like it's 10 floors. At least this is a linear floor, which means that it's going to be a little bit easier to work with. Do I not have another link box? I don't. So I died one times too many, clearly. Let's see what Facade... About 50 HP damage. Could be worse, could be better. Facade works better when you have a status condition in the main game. So I think that's how it works. So I assume that's how it works here as well. In which case, could I have done some like strategizing there? I don't think I could have with Toxic. I don't think I could have. Floor 8, are you kidding? Okay, if I die now, I'm not going to keep talking because we're literally 20 minutes into this episode. And there's going to be a lot of dialogue after I defeat Rayquaza or Rayquaza. So, hopefully we don't die and that doesn't even, like, matter at all. But if I do, we're not going to go through all of these floors again on screen. I'll just do it off screen. Because my little, like, rant is over now. Oh, no, it's not, because it started with the PlayStation thing, didn't it? So, I said no, I would very much like 40 euros for it, right? And then he's like, starting to ask me questions, and I'm like, okay, no, I would like 40 euros for it. And he's like, again, he says, I'll give you 30. Like, I already told you, 30 is not enough. We're at the summit. 30 is not enough. I want 40. And then he's like, 35. Do you have GTA? I'm like, first off, I just stopped answering at that point. But I imagine he was going to say, I'll give you 40 if you also give me GTA 5. In which case, no. GTA 5 as a game plus a PlayStation 4 for 40 euros is stupid. Even the PlayStation 4, even if it's like, its online functionality is bricked, 40 euros is a freaking bargain. So I'm not going to give you that. There's going to be somebody else who's willing to give me 40 or even the full 50 for it. Anyway, this is the top floor. Who goes there? Who dares trespass by my airspace? That voice, is it Rayquaza or Rayquaza? Indeed I am. The sky is my domain. Depart at once. But we don't have time to argue. We came here because we need your help. Never. Yeah. I am the being of the sky, and you are the denizens of the ground. To each their own world is destined as or something like that. For hundreds of millions of years, never once have I descended to the ground. Rayquaza has lived for hundreds of millions of years? No. And the opposites shall also hold true. Let there be no mercy for those who defy the laws of nature. Prepare for the end. So, the thing is I don't have a link box to link my own moves. But I do have Shadow Ball, which should hit you. Okay, so what is my best move now? Is it Payday? It might be Facade. Also, Barry definitely should be an exclusive move user. I think he might already be, is the thing. That does quite a bit of damage. Okay, so Barry, your IQ. Let's just check, just to be sure. Exclusive move user, that's what I want you to be on. And then let's try Facade, which does about the same actually. Barry is going to do the majority of damage anyway. I would have liked to have a... If you run out of PP and delink your moves, I'm going to be upset. Max Elixir. Give to Barry. Please, for the love of God, use it. Thank you. Okay, Bite, I'm just going to try a couple of moves. Bite, definitely not the right option there. I think we're getting close to the end of his HP. Dragon Claw could potentially be scary. I don't know, I feel like Dragon Claw is a very powerful... We've done it in first try and we grew to level 29, which we're never going to use because it was literally the last fight of the series. I swear to God, if we learn like a very good move now, I'm going to be upset. Okay, we didn't. Sounds which I'm not going to make because they're just going to sound stupid. Quake? It can't be. We're up on clouds. These are shockwaves, and they're huge. That's it. I get it now. Look straight up, Rayquaza. Doesn't this like become a dual screen scene? What is that? It's a shooting star. It's gigantic. It's going to destroy the world if it isn't stopped. That's why we came here, Rayquaza. We need you to destroy the falling star. So that is why. Yes, hurry, destroy it. Before I try, I need to know your resolve. The star has come too close. If I were to lose my hyper beam here, you would not escape unscathed. So what? We knew that right from the start. Well said. I mean, surely there's other Pokemon with a move Hyper Beam. Take charge of your destiny. This is such a good place to have a dual screen scene where this is the bottom screen and the top screen is the meteor or falling star. I suppose. I could have sworn that was a thing that happened. Is this a dream? No, this is no dream. Yeah, the star's explosion swallowed me, and now I'm adrift as a spirit. What's going to happen? This shadow. Gengar. Vlogger. Didn't take much to put you down. Serves you right. Now what to do with you? I know. I'll drag you into the dark world. That'll do it. Gengar is dragging me. Gengar said he would drag me into the dark world. What is the dark world? Am I going to be abandoned in the world I don't know? I mean, it wouldn't be your first time having that happen to you. Huh? Darn it, I took the wrong path. What? This isn't like me. I can't tell which way is which. To heck with this. I'll just ditch you here. That's goodbye to you. Hey, can you hear? Snap out of it. Huh? This place. Regain consciousness. I mean, apparently when Alakazam commands you to wake up, you wake the frick up. I'm sure of it. I'm sure back there. Gengar saved me. No. No, he didn't. He was going to try to drag you into what I think might literally be the Pokemon equivalent of hell. Which would be the distortion world. But in this universe, maybe the dark world is like the distortion world. Maybe. Did Gengar save Vlogger? He didn't! He was going to try and like super murder me. Awesome, you're alive. You really had us all worried. You were incredible. I'm glad you're safe. It's fantastic. Everyone, thank you. But what about the star? What happened to it? Fear not, the star is no more. Though it will not be right away. The disaster shall soon be calmed. Really? We did it, Vlogger. We got it done. We won peace. I don't think you can win peace. I don't think peace is like a contest. Frick, maybe if peace was a contest, we would have world peace by now. Maybe we should make it a contest. Just make a contest. What can be the most peaceful country in the planet, on the world? Definitely Donald Trump would try to win that because it's a contest, and at least America would try to be peaceful. Anyway, politics. This calls for a celebration. Let me shoot my high... Whoa, Blastoise. Hold on there. Let's not do that. Whoa, hold on there. Don't point those things at me. Face the other way. The other way. No, let it loose. Okay, so like this camaraderie doesn't really work because it's not been set up. There's not a lot of animation going on here, so it doesn't hit you in the feels as the writers, I think, imagined it would. What's about to happen will hit you in the feels, probably. But not as much, again, as Explosive Sky. You've got to be kidding me. I'll secure him so he can't get away. Oh, not bad. Again, Charizard's voice, it's one of those voices that keeps changing. No, you're serious. Well, why now? You resisted like twice. You'll be fine. Flogger. Carnivore. We owe everything to you, Vlogger, and your friends. Peace is returned to our world. Thank you for everything. And now, Vlogger, your role has ended. Soon you must return to your own world. It is time to bid farewell. It's finally come. The time has finally arrived. Fuck. There's music. You need this music. Sorry for the audio not being a thing. Vlogger, I'm sorry for this. To everyone, please bid farewell. The music helps. The music definitely helps with the emotions. I've got a little bit, I don't know if you can see, I've got a little bit of goosebumps going on here. Vlogger, your body, what's happening? Barry. And everyone, I'm sorry, but I'll have to leave. What? What are you saying? Everyone, thank you for giving me Bob's voice. Thank you for everything, all this time. Huh? Leave? What do you mean leave? My role as a Pokemon has ended. I have to return to the human world. Unbelievable. Go back to the human world? Why? I don't understand. Why do you have to leave? Didn't we? Aren't we friends? Yes, you'll always be my friend, Barry. I'll never forget you. Until I do. Wait, Vlogger. I am blessed to have met you. What am I going to do when you're gone, Vlogger? I'm so very sorry. This is goodbye. Everybody's going to just now say Vlogger, which I'm going to do in all the voices because I've forgotten like most of the voices I've given these characters. This, even though this is like not the optimal version of this scene, and even though this is like the 4th time I've experienced this scene, it still hits me more in the feels than the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3. Which... no, that's not true actually. With the like post-credit scene, that one hit me in the feels where Sora just fades away. Spoilers for Kingdom Hearts 3, by the way. Vlogger, why? I don't understand. Why was it necessary to leave us? Also, I just realised Charizard, his voice, I've been doing for this entire series, sounds very, very constipated. Sorry to like undercut the dramatic tension here, but I just realised that. That's so bad. Vlogger saved my life, but I hadn't done anything to show him my thanks. Left before I could even say thanks. You're right. Just upset. I mean, you didn't really do anything other than attack me that one time, didn't you? Fuck all you all. Just when things were going to get better. This was coming. Our world. It was saved by Vlogger. I look back now. When bound for the sky, Vlogger seemed as if resigned. Resigned to accept what was to come. I think I know. I think I understand now. Vlogger became a Pokemon to save us, and then, when the star was destroyed, Vlogger knew that it would be time to leave. Why? Why didn't Vlogger tell me earlier? If it was coming, why didn't he tell me? Those words couldn't be spoken. As much as you are heartbroken now, Vlogger must have felt the same pain of leaving. Try to understand, Barry. Vlogger. again, both the reasoning and like the character interaction in Explorers of Sky and Time of Darkness, I suppose, is so much better. And even though I've experienced that as many times as this, that one actually hits me like very deep in the feels. This one, I got a bit of goosebumps. That one actually always makes me tear up a little bit. And I don't cry when watching films or games or whatever. That is one of the very few times where I actually have teared up. The end of Kingdom Hearts 3, where Sora vanishes. The end of Final Fantasy X, where Tidus vanishes. And the end of Explorers of Sky, where the main character vanishes. Those are the only 3 times any game or any movie ever actually makes me tear up. And all 3 of those, well, Sora less so, but those other 2 actually managed to repeat that, which is even more impressive. Also, you can read for yourself. This one, it's good. I don't want to say it's not good. I don't want to say it's like poorly written. It's just there's a story which is told, which follows a lot of the same beats, story beats as this one, with like the same gimmicks and mechanics and interactions, but it's just so much more well fleshed out. The reasoning of you have to return to the human world, while not bad, is not as good as you're going to stop existing because you're from a future that no longer exists. That is just that's a very good reasoning, and one you just can't get like a pin between at all. That's solid, and just the interaction between your main character and your side character, your sidekick, your partner in Explorers of Sky. It's had so much more time to build up and be meaningful than in this game, because this is like episode 18, I want to say, maybe 19 of this series. I've done an Explorers of Sky series as well, and I think when you get to Temporal Tower, if I were to do an Explorers of Sky series, which in the future I might do at some point again, but it's not going to be anytime soon. When you get to Temporal Tower, you're probably like twice the amount into the game compared to this game. It's so much longer. And there's so much more build-up and story and character development and character interaction. And you really care so much more about these characters because they actually get developed. The characters in this are fairly stationary and the plot just kind of happens to you. Whereas in Explorers of Sky, it all feels believable and natural and development, and things are action and reaction rather than just you being the central point and things kind of happening to you and around you. That is at least my analysis and my opinion on these 2 games. This game's definitely, it's a straight 8 out of 10. At least. This game is definitely an 8 out of 10. Explorers of Sky is one of the few games in existence I will give a 10 out of 10. That and Kingdom Hearts 2 are the only 2 games I can think of right now I'll give a 10 out of 10. Maybe Final Fantasy X. But I don't know. Final Fantasy X has its issues. All of these games have issues. None of them are perfect. The perfect game doesn't exist. But this game's solid 8 out of 10. And with that, we're going to get right into the start of the post-game with the main character returning, which we will not be playing, as I mentioned before, because I could, but I'm kind of like, the best part of the game is done right now. This is the best part of the game. From now on, there's a little story development, but mostly it's just getting more dungeons and getting more Pokemon. That's more gameplay based, and well, that's fine. We have very much enjoyed the episodes which were gameplay based more so than story based. I think this is a good point to call it an end. Also, the interest for this Let's Play doesn't seem to be that high, so I'm going to be replacing it by something else. And as of me recording this, I still don't know what will be next. So tomorrow there will be another Platinum Theft Lock episode, and the day after that there will be an entirely new series, which It's going to be a little bit of a surprise what it's going to be. The story of Logger and Barry ends here, but Bob isn't done yet. This is exactly what I mean. From here on, you can also just leave your main characters behind and use other Pokemon as team leaders and such, other than on very specific story-based missions, which are only a couple of them. So let's take a look at our save file. We're 12 hours and 30 minutes roughly into the game. We've had 63 adventures we have beaten. Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno, Groudon and Rayquaza, and those portraits, if you play the post-game, go all the way until the end of that box. So there is a lot of post-game content, and we're just going to skip out on that. Until the next time, I told you this was going to be a bit of a longer episode. Granted, part of that was me dying over and over again and not cutting because I was ranting, but until the next time, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the next time. I'm thinking there's not actually going to be a next time, because next time is going to be a different series. Anyway, you know what to do. I'll see you all back next time in a different series. Bye.